This is what happens in Journey into Mystery number 109. It's a Thor book.
Oh, okay.
Date, October 1964. Title, When Magneto Strikes.
Oh my God. I'm buckled up. Let's go.
There's an asterisk next to Magneto, which then says, by special arrangement with the publishers of X-Men magazine, and in parentheses, namely ourselves.
Yes, that's fair. That's actually kind of fun. I miss when comics were just cute. Anyway.
By Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Love it.
The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants are trying to locate the X-Men's HQ by tracking their mental emanations.
Not even going to ask a follow-up. Go on.
Because there is no information past that.
I've never heard of that.
They're in a, like, submersible that has a big fake tree coming out of it, just, like, in the harbor.
That kind of sounds familiar. I feel like there's a ship with a tree in it somewhere. That looks really different than I thought in my head now that you're showing it to me. I'll have to think on that. Go on.
So Magneto sends the rest of the Brotherhood to track the X-Men. Magneto then sits in a device that looks like just like a giant magnet to experiment with his own powers.
Okay.
A bunch of metal stuff floats up and then floats back down, and Thor notices it while he's in... Now, I don't know how much you know about Thor, but he can turn back and forth between Thor and Donald Blake, the doctor.
Yes.
So as the doctor, all of his tools go up and they come back down. So he has to turn into Thor to go figure out what's going on.
Right. I actually read a lot of Thor. So
okay.
I like Thor.
Okay. Thor's hammer can feel the magnetic pulse.
Mjolnir can feel the
Apparently.
Okay.
So he follows the magnetic field to find Magneto.
Okay.
Magneto then tries to recruit Thor to the Brotherhood.
He's not a mutant, though.
Doesn't matter. He
It
can
does,
tell
though. It really does.
Not in this issue.
It's odd.
Oh, he thinks he's a mutant. That's why.
Okay.
He said only another mutant would have the power to find me here.
That's very early Magneto.
Obviously, Thor refuses.
He's a hero.
Right? And they fight.
Yeah.
So during the fight, Thor throws his hammer. Magneto stops it.
What?
Yeah.
Like with the magnet?
With the magnet powers.
See, I don't know enough about Thor to know if that tracks, but it feels like it doesn't
I
track.
don't think it should. I don't think it will later, but
don't think it does.
now.
Okay. That's fair.
The fight continues, and Thor doesn't have his hammer, and apparently if it's gone for over a minute, he turns back into Donald Blake.
That is, yeah, okay.
Magneto has him trapped in a different part of the sub, and then starts like throwing traps at Donald Blake, not Thor.
Okay.
Then he gets a call from the Brotherhood, who's like, hey, we found the X-Men. Here's the problem. We're in a jam.
Okay.
The funny part is you don't see the X-Men, but you do see like their powers.
Oh,
They're
kind of
like
going
off
on.
panel.
It's easier to draw powers than people. That's pretty great.
The rest of this issue, anytime I mention an X-Man, they're not on panel.
It's just the powers.
It's just the powers.
That is super interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Magneto gets to the location, but Thor gets his walking stick back and turns back into his mighty Asgardian self.
Got it.
Thor's hammer then drains the energy from Magneto's magnetic defenses in the sub.
That's kind of weird. But also, Asgardian magic is also technology. So, like, I don't know. You could
It said
maybe
his
hand-wave that.
Uru energy drained the magnetic energy.
Then yes, that is the magic.
That is the magic.
That is the tech magic. So that tracks a little for me.
Magneto escapes and then sets a nuclear proton bomb to trap Thor, but Iceman freezes it off panel.
Does that work?
I guess so. It's frozen.
I feel like the freezing of bombs doesn't work how people think it will, but I'm going to let that ride.
Okay. Magneto escapes in his Magna sub and is pursued by a sub with an X on it.
I wouldn't be doing that. Namor lives down there.
I know. Never seen an X sub either.
Because they learned a lesson, I bet.
Not at this point. Thor destroys the underwater base. The end.
Love it.